It's a like go back to you like when you growing up. So you're saying that you had Crohn's growing up, but I'm assuming it was a mild form of it. But were you trying to get it diagnosed, or you kind of just like, this is my life and hope it doesn't get worse? Even though multiple people have Crohn's, they could all have different triggers.
Because getting diagnosed is quite hard as well with Crohn's because it is hard to get diagnosed. Like to me, it took about I'd say a month to get diagnosed, where some people can take years and some people find it really hard to get diagnosed. Which yeah, it was dependent on to figure out what was going on because I was in so much pain. Like I was told I had an appointment to see someone at the hospital and they was going to wait another month. And then me and my family had to push to get the appointment because I couldn't wait another month.
What kind of pain is it? Is it kind of like a stomach pain, or is it like a brand new pain you have never experienced
I don't
before?
really want to be on any medication. I think that's the aim for every Crohn's disease patient to not be on any medication and want to be on any medication. I think that's the aim for every Crohn's disease patient to not be on any medication and pain. Yeah, I think the thing with Crohn's, Joey, it's like a roller coaster. Yeah, I think the thing with Crohn's, Joey, it's like a roller coaster.
So I know you also love to advocate for autism, and we
Yeah.
know autism is like a huge spectrum. But like, do you have like any special powers? Like, can you calculate like really large numbers? When you went to school, were you in a regular classroom setting, or were you part of like a special group? Hello, welcome to my podcast, to my one Joey Stooch. I am Joey Stooch, and I will be giving a mic to Mason Milne. He
Yeah.
is a he is a Crohn's disease advocate. Crohn's disease is the inflammation to the digestive tract, which can lead to abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, and malnutrition. He also has autism. He also runs his own podcast called Crohn's and Autism Awareness, where he interviews two guests a week. Welcome to my podcast. How are you today?
Thank you for like inviting me on. I'm very happy about like that you invited me onto your podcast. I, I'm doing okay. Thank you, Joey. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. You are in the UK, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm about probably an hour from London.
Oh yeah, because I just see the thing in the back, so that's very UK of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I because I like you said, I have a podcast as well, and I speak to people from like America, like all across the world, really. I think it's amazing that you can speak to someone so far away on like a video chat like we are.
Yeah, yeah, we're very far away, but at the same time, we're like not.
Yeah,
We're just two people living in totally different countries with very unique experiences.
yeah,
So
that's
I
it.
want to talk about. Let's first talk about the Calprotectin test, which led to your diagnosis. What is that?
Yeah, like I'll talk about my Crohn's. Like I got diagnosed with Crohn's when I was in 2017. So it feels ages away ago, but it's not that far away. But I was diagnosed in 2017, and during that
And
year,
wait, how old are you now?
I'm 20 now.
Okay, so you were diagnosed at the age of 17ish.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and through that year, I lost a lot of weight. I didn't really know what was going on. And then all of a sudden, around October time in 2017, I got diagnosed with Crohn's. From During that time, I had a procedure called a colonoscopy, where I had that done, which as it kind of said, I had Crohn's, and um, where I lost lots of weight, I also I couldn't eat anything. I had a lot of pain. I always remember it as a burning feeling, and because like it's called inflammation in your bowel, which is all red from from the flare. So that makes your bowel inflamed, and from there it kind of tells like the people that is Crohn's. And when I got told, I didn't know what Crohn's was, so I kind of had to learn about it myself. And I didn't talk about it to start with, really, unless I had to, like at school, because at the time I was in my last year at school, and it was I got diagnosed around the time where you're preparing to have exams, so it wasn't ideal, but it was I think health is the most important. So through that, I did learn, and then last year I created a podcast, and I created like an awareness page which spreads awareness of autism as well. Where I was diagnosed with autism when I was 9. So I don't remember quite a lot. I remember I went to London for quite a lot of tests from a period of time. Then eventually I did get diagnosed with autism.
I want to say, so you got diagnosed with Crohn's 3 years ago. Were you
Yeah.
always dealing with Crohn's when you were growing up? It just started 3 years ago, and then like it just went downhill, and you had to find a diagnosis.
I think from Crohn's, I think that I think that like when I was younger, it would have been there, I reckon, and it just got more clearer when I was older, because with Crohn's, everyone can get diagnosed or like all different ages, and like for me, I was diagnosed when I was about turned 17. And it wasn't an ideal situation, which because like everyone with Crohn's is different. Like some people have stoma bags, some people have surgery. It's actually like there's a fact, if you get diagnosed with Crohn's at a young age, you're pretty you're quite possibly gonna have surgery during your life. And for me, at the moment, luckily I haven't had surgery yet, but because there's lots of medication which helps reduce the pain, but at the same time, so some of the medication dampens your immune system. So with Crohn's, you can catch other stuff as well, which isn't nice. Like in a situation where a pandemic is still going on as well, which is that adds more worry to people that have dampened immune systems too.
It's a let's go back to you, like when you growing up. So you're saying that you had Crohn's growing up, but I'm assuming it was a mild form of it. But were you trying to get a diagnosis, or you kind of just like, this is my life and hope it doesn't get worse?
I think like now, because I was diagnosed like when I was 17, so I wasn't aware of it when I was younger, and I just presume, because we have these because there's no way that there's no one knows how they got Crohn, so there's no certain like form why you have it or anything like that, and there's no cure either at the moment. But like we all have our like assumptions of what it could be. Like for me, maybe because there's some food, like it goes with food sometimes as well, where like for me, I can't have spicy food, so I avoid them because they cause me pain, and I don't have caffeine either, so I don't drink caffeine. So like there's stuff people avoid, but someone else has Crohn could be completely different. Like some people, I could be all right with like carrots and stuff, and someone else might that might cause pain for them. So
Really?
yeah, so like, but it goes along if your Crohn's is okay, because when you're when you're okay with your Crohn's, it's called remission, where you're like you haven't currently got not much inflammation and not much pain either, and you might be taking a certain like medication which helps that pain, which provides like treatment which helps.
Even though multiple people have Crohn, they could all have different triggers.
Yeah, like for me, I can't have spicy foods, and say someone else that has Crohn's, they could have spicy food. So everyone's different with that have Crohn's disease. Not everyone's the same.
That's so strange, because like you can't like help each other.
Like you can in a way help each other, because since I got diagnosed, first of all, when I got diagnosed, I heard my consultant come out and said that Crohn's disease is rare, and I ultimately thought, am I one in like 1,000 people that has it? Am I going to find anyone else that has it? And then I find lots of other people having it. And the good thing about probably the best thing about having Crohn's disease is that you can relate. There's always going to be someone that is maybe on the same medication as you, or has the same treatment as you, which is good. That in a way you're learning from someone else, and that's why I like to raise awareness. So if I share my experiences, it could help. It could help someone else as well, because getting diagnosed is quite hard as well with Crohn's, because it is hard to get diagnosed. Like to me, it took about, I'd say, a month to get diagnosed, where some people can take years, and some people find it really hard to get diagnosed, which is hard, and you kind of have to push for appointments as well.
How long did it take for you to get diagnosed? Like from
About a month. It didn't take me too long.
Oh, that's really quick, especially in the rare disease world.
Yeah.
Like, was your life dependent on getting diagnosed with Crohn's? Because you mentioned that you have like vomiting and severe weight loss. So was your life dependent on being diagnosed properly?
Yeah, it was dependent on to figure out what was going on, because I was in so much pain. Like I was told I had an appointment to see to see someone at the hospital, and they was going to wait another month. And then me and my family had to push to get the appointment because I couldn't wait another month. And it was good I did push when I did, because if I didn't, my consultant came out and said, I would have needed surgery if I didn't like push. So it did depend on the diagnosis. I was glad I got diagnosed. I know Crohn's disease isn't nice at all. I wish no one has it, but when you do have it, there's no, you can't get rid of it. So you have to learn to live with it. So for me, it was quite urgent to get diagnosed at that time.
What kind of pain is it? Is it kind of like a stomach pain, or is it like a brand new pain you have never experienced before?
Um, like when I had it, it was which I presume I may get it again, because you can have flares any time. So like it can go in, it can come and go. Say like some people can have a flare for a day, some people can have it for years, and luckily I, I'd say to me it felt like a long time that pain was there, but the pain felt like it was in my stomach area, and it was like sharp stabbing burny pain, and that's what it felt like, um and it wasn't nice at all, because it was I didn't like, so sometimes you feel like you could cry because of that certain pain. And then the first medication I think I was put on, I was on steroids just to start off, and then I was put on biologics, which is that's what like cancer patients take as well. So that's what I mean when your immune system is quite dampened, because I really don't really want to be on any medication. I think that's the aim for every Crohn's disease patient, to not be on any medication and pain free. But if the medication helps you, that's the most important thing.
Right, so you get diagnosed with Crohn's, then what? Like, is there like a special medication for Crohn, or like you mentioned that they put you on steroids? Like, do they do that? What do you do when you're diagnosed with Crohn's?
When you get diagnosed, it's quite hard. I suppose I spoke to other people that have got diagnosed, and they've heard of it before. So I suppose it depends if you know what Crohn's was before you was diagnosed. In my case, I didn't. So afterwards, I got handed leaflets about what it was. I went home and I went on the internet and searched what Crohn's was, and it wasn't probably the best idea, because like all sorts were coming up, like surgery, stomach bags, and all sorts of things. And I think that's what you got to kind of do after you do get diagnosed, is try teach yourself a little bit about it, because it's a condition you're probably going to have for the rest of your life, and unless there is is a cure at some point. But
Wait, so the doctor didn't like help you at all?
yeah, the medication I've been on has really helped me.
No, I'm
Um,
saying I'm saying the doctor didn't help you at all in terms of
um
like educating you.
oh, yes, they did they did teach me about it. That like the people at my hospital and doctors are very good. They like I have a IBD nurse. There's an IBD nurse is where you get the majority of the information from to start with because I was in a little bit of a shock really. I got I got I got leaflets to take home. I got like phone numbers to ring if anything happens, and I just you do get quite a lot of support when you do have Crohn's, and yeah, they have been very supportive and like just to learn that you're not on your own.
And so like you get diagnosed with Crohn's and you're put on medication.
Yeah, yeah, like that. I think they determine like because everyone's different. Not everyone goes on the same
Yeah. So let's
medication.
just talk about you because just like let's tell your
Okay,
story.
okay. Like from let's start from 2017. My story. Like I like through that year. Let's start at the beginning of 2017. Um, through that weight loss, it at the start it wasn't painful right at the beginning. It was more near October time, and I always go back in pictures on my phone to see what I look like, and it's not good, and that's why we say when you say some illnesses are not like you can't see it, and like I because to school I got transport, and I when I was starting to go back to school, I asked the escort, do you notice anything different to me? Do I look any different? And they said no, I look the same. So that's one of the reasons why in my journey I like to speak about it and I like to raise awareness about it because I don't want other people to maybe have maybe an easier path rather than like feeling like they feel bad about talking about it. But through that year of 2017, I say it was quite hard. Even though I was in pain, I still went to school. But before I urgently needed to, like go to the hospital because I wanted to still go in, still wanted to show my face, even though I was in a lot of pain. I remember a teacher asked me if I want to go down to the nurse and get some painkillers, but knowing that that wasn't going to help because the best thing to reduce that pain in my stomach, the burning feeling that I talked about, was a hot water bottle at night and that kind of distracted me a little bit, which was good. Like I think it's always important when you are in flares as well. If you find something to like take your mind off it, even though the pain will still be there,
Yeah.
but it kind of helps like maybe not just thinking about it all the time or what's going to happen, what could happen, and stuff like
Is
that.
it a always constant pain or is it kind of like pain when you're like let's say hungry or like after you eat
Um,
a meal?
But the thing was with eating, I couldn't eat. And that was another thing. I lost all this weight and I couldn't eat. But I couldn't eat because like another thing, I was bloated, like I ate a meal already. That's how I
Huh.
felt. When I started eating the meal, and I said to my mum, oh, "I'm done, I'm finished," and then said, "You haven't touched the food." And I was like, "Can't. I'm in pain." And then I got told to go on these like liquid diet drinks where it kind of which I didn't really like either, so I wasn't really winning. So I that's where I decided I had to get seen because I'm not eating. I lost lots of weight, and something's got to happen about this. But I eventually, during one of the years have gone on, I have discovered what I can and I can't eat.
I mean, that must be pretty disheartening to like do. Like were you hungry or you were just so much pain that you
I
just like
think
didn't even think of it?
I don't think I really thought about food that much when I was in pain. Although I do like my food, I do like and like. when I'm not in pain, I do like to not. I eat what I can, um, but another thing with Crohn's as well is like people can go to the toilet a lot, and it's not how it doesn't. It's like that's like everything is different for everyone, and for me, I suppose I'm quite lucky about that kind of way where I say I go to the toilet the average amount a person does. So for me, I'm quite lucky that I don't have to go like maybe 50 times a day, or which some Crohn's patients do. So in that way, I'm quite lucky. What like for example, when I went for my colonoscopy, when I got diagnosed with Crohn's, your bowel has to be emptied. So I was given this prep where I drink this drink wasn't really nice. I felt like I was getting poisoned. I was only joking a little bit about that, but it felt like that because every 15 minutes you have to drink the drink, and to like that makes your insides
Yeah, I
that
hear
makes you
it
go to the
tastes
toilet.
terrible.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, I didn't drink all of it because me knowing I haven't eaten anything anyway, so my bowel's pretty much empty.
Hmm.
So I went to the procedure.
Were you even
Was
able to drink it since you were in so much pain?
I think I wasn't very much pain, but I had to do it. Otherwise, I like because I needed to see what was going on, and if I didn't, if I stopped, I might have to wait a little bit longer. But to do that procedure I went through, it was I'll say worth it because now I'm doing I'll say much better than I was when
I
I
mean, you
first got
must be so
diagnosed.
relieved that when you got diagnosed that like your troubles are ending and
Yeah.
you can go like uphill again.
Yeah, I think the thing with Crohn's, Joey, it's like a roller coaster. During that first, like during the first part of the journey, and then recently, actually happened to go for another procedure, just to have another check through and to see if everything on my insides are going okay. Like when I had that colonoscopy to start with, I had sedation, and a recent one I went for, I had laughing gas. I wanted to go through something different because them I did like the people who did it. They said I did it really well the first time, and then I did it again like about I say 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was it's just like you like the thing is you're gonna have these procedures, and you're gonna have to improve for the rest of your life every few years, just to keep a check. And it's always good to keep checking it, and if anything goes wrong, like the to go to the hospital and tell like RBD nurses and people who know about it.
Yeah, let's go backward a little bit. So you get diagnosed with
Mm.
Crohn's and then you're on medication and they're like so what medication are you on after Crohn's? Like after you get
Um,
diagnosed?
After I was diagnosed, I was put on azathioprine. Um, I was put on I was on this acid tablet for a time, and then I came off it, and that was like fatigue. I do suffer from fatigue quite a lot. So I actually noticed before, but I actually remember fatigue before I was diagnosed with Crohn's. So I kind of can tell the difference, and it's much better, worse than before I had Crohn's, or got diagnosed with Crohn's. Because I like sometimes if I do like a PT session or like do sports or something, and I get home, I'm knackered, I want to go for a sleep. Yeah.
So but your medication's the same at the next person that had Crohn's or is it different from case to case?
Um. Like I will have a different medication than someone else that has Crohn's, but um, like we may have some. You may like I've found people in the past that have been on the same medication as me, and the same now because at the minute. The medication I currently let's backtrack a little bit. After I was diagnosed, I was on a drug called infliximab, which is an infusion I was on for about a year, and that helped me for a year. And then I built antibodies towards the drug, and I had a bad reaction where I needed oxygen and I couldn't breathe. So
Well, serious.
yeah, it was a bit serious, and I felt all red, I had a cannula in, and I felt like that was going to burst out. So and because it was working through that, I had nine infusions in total. I was hoping to get to the 10th one, but it didn't work out. But that ninth infusion, each time it was going a little bit faster because it's working, and they started it again and went very slowly, and then shortly after I had an appointment with my consultant, and during that appointment, he said we're gonna move you off this infliximab and put you on the drug called Humira, which is an injection at home. So for me, I prefer it. So I don't have to go to hospital every 8 weeks, I believe I went. So I have Humira now every 2 weeks. And I'm actually due one. I have one every Friday, like fortnightly. So I'm due one this Friday actually. But I don't inject myself because I'm afraid I do it wrong. So I'm not a big fan of injections really, but I've had to get used to it. Like during Crohn's disease, most people have to go to have blood tests quite a lot. So because like I said, don't not found the needles, but I used to have the cold ice on my arm when I had a blood test, but now I don't because I feel like it's best to get it done and I not feel anything because I feel more with the cold rather than just having having an injection done. So it's yeah, like that's the thing with I've been on that about over a year and a half now, I think, the Humira, and it's worked, and like it's done well for me, and like it's I'm happy. I'm on a medication that is working.
So I'm kind of curious. So that you're on a medication now, are you just like allowed to eat whatever you want, or you kind of slowly build up your diet again?
I say for me, I tolerate whatever I can eat at the moment because it's always nice. It's always good to try new foods as well. If you have Crohn's or not, because you can see if you're good with that food when you're not. If you're not, you can just tick it off. Um, so I I like what like for example when I was in a lot of pain, I lived on chicken. I could tolerate chicken, but so I know if I ever get into that position again, I possibly will go back to chicken because I did well with chicken at that time. But like at the moment, I can myself I can tolerate whatever I can handle eating.
But you mentioned like before you can't do spicy food, so I'm saying so you're saying you can't do spicy food now, or you just
I say every once in a while. Before I had Crohn's, I loved spicy foods. I
oh
was one of the,
no.
I loved them. Like you can get a kebab and you get the chili sauce. And I put I used to get that every once in a while when I put chili sauce all over, and people think I was mad.
Mm-hmm.
And then but now I can't do that. I can't put that over now. If I did it every once in a while, I would put a little pot on the side, so I'm not putting it all over. So maybe I dip a few chips in it if I'm all right. But yeah, like with a curry, I don't like with a curry is weird because I wouldn't mind chili sauce all over a kebab, but with
Mm-hmm.
a curry, I don't like that too hot. So it's weird, but it's a bit unfortunate that it was spicy food, so it was not good for me. But
Yeah, spicy food is awesome. But do you since you're so if you eat spicy food, do you experience the same kind of pain like you did before taking the medication, or like a mild form of it?
yeah. Yeah, I'd say, and when I did have the spicy foods, I did get quite a lot of pain, like burning pain it was in my stomach, and the thing is, it doesn't just affect your stomach with Crohn's, and by the way, it can affect everything from your mouth down to like your bum, so it can affect that anywhere from there when you have Crohn's, and
Anywhere where
unfortunately.
there's a hole, it hurts.
Yeah, it does, yeah. And unfortunately for me, I got the worst form of Crohn's because there's different forms that you can get diagnosed with, and I kind of have a bit of Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, which is another form of IBD, inflammatory bowel disease as well.
It's a kind of like lactose intolerant. Like you just won't feel well for the next few hours, but like when you have spicy food, you're not gonna be feeling well for the next few hours, but like
Mm.
you made it like, oh, this is worth it, you know.
Yeah, it's more like it happens straight away. Like when I remember, it's like straight away and you're in pain. Not nice. Not nice at all. And I tried to I did at times tried to hide it at like not the pain. I tried to hide the like if I was talking to my friends when I wasn't at school at the time, not to like. And I did get told I can go to the library, but I was just curious if people could ask why I'm in the library. I just haven't got that mental strength to tell them why, and possibly get told you got to go back to class. So, um, yeah, it can affect you mentally as well, like having Crohn's as well.
But so how is your like day to day life then? Is it like, are you like not in pain at all, or is it little pains? Like,
At the minute, I'm pretty okay. I haven't I haven't got that kind of pain for a while, which I'm grateful for. I wouldn't say I am I've been in remission before, but I wouldn't say I'm in remission at the moment because my levels with my Crohn's have been out of range, which which means I'm not in remission, but I'm not in pain as well. So
it's so like
that's
wait, so Crohn's something that you
yeah.
have all the time, or just comes and goes? So like, could you like one day just have spicy food and you'd be 100% normal?
Um, like crime stays with us forever, unfortunately. But like you can when some people are in remission, it feels like you haven't got Crohn's, if it makes sense. Like it just feels like a normal day, like before you had it. But it's always going to be there, even if you are in remission, you can still experience like fatigue and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, it's always going to be there. But you got to just do your best to deal with it and just I'd say like, look after yourself.
So it just seems like everyone has kind of the same journey of when they get diagnosed with Crohn, they have to discover for themselves what hurts them
Yeah,
and what doesn't.
yeah,
And you kind of can't help someone because they have to discover like what will hurt them. So like in your case would be spicy food. So I'm guessing like one day you just sat down, had spicy food, and then you waited to see if you had any kind of reaction.
yeah, yeah. Because I suppose it changes. Like it depends how you're doing. Like I could like at the start not get on with spicy foods, but then stuff goes on and I don't know if I'm doing okay. It might work. I might be able to have like spicy foods one day. I might be able to have chili sauce all over the kebab again. Who knows?
Yeah, so I have here that you take biologics and chemo drugs that dampen your immune system. Is
Yeah.
that um like is that for the Crohn's or that for something else?
But that will be for the Crohn's, which that dampens your immune system.
So I'm guessing that you're taking it very seriously with the COVID,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
being
So
very cautious, and
yeah,
are you able to get vaccinated?
yeah. I've had both my vaccines, but I'm actually this weekend I'm actually due to have my booster jab, which I had my first two vaccinations at the beginning of the year, like February March time. So it's been a while. Um, but like with those vaccines, it's not going to protect because I have a low immune system, a dampened immune system because of the medication I take. And for my Crohn's, that means the vaccines won't be as protective for me for maybe someone that hasn't got a low immune system or isn't on like the medication I'm on.
So I know you also love to advocate for autism, and we
Yeah.
know autism is like a huge spectrum. But like, do you have like any special powers? Like, can you calculate like really large numbers?
I'd say I'm not that smart for that. uh, um, although what my autism I with it, um, it's like I said at the start, then I was diagnosed when I was 9 years old, and at the start I wouldn't talk about autism really. I would think it's all bad because I was young. I didn't have any confidence either, so I thought autism was bad. It wasn't good to have. And I in school I might have felt, say I'm doing a lesson, and I would say to if I needed help, I wouldn't ask for it, because if everyone else knows in the class, I would feel a bit silly if I got it wrong. And I said I knew what I was doing. So in that way, I didn't have much confidence at the start of my autism.
Mm-hmm.
But as life went on, I grew my confidence, and like I think with autism, you go kind of like attached. Like it comes a lot with your hobbies. I think like with me, I like Doctor Who. I talk about a lot about that, and so sort of like and different things. Like for me, I'd say I'm sensory, meaning say if someone's if they're having dinner and they make a lot of noise with their plate when they're eating, and I wouldn't for me that's kind of like a chalkboard making noise. So
Mm-hmm.
it's and then I think to my mind, how come when I'm eating, I don't make that loud noise? Why does someone else make that loud noise? Don't make too much sense. But it's just those things, like may be a little thing for someone else, but big thing for me.
Yeah, were you raised when you went to school, were you in a regular classroom setting, or were you part of like a special group?
I was in a special group. Like when I was in high school, I went to I went to mainstream to start with for a year, and then that they didn't understand me really, so I moved to a special school which understand like autism and other special needs as well, not just autism, which they understand, which took a bit of time, and I think because I moved there, it gave my confidence, and made me more confident to do stuff, and ask for help as well, which was the most important thing, because I wasn't, and then I learned I don't. I'm not that fussed what people think. If I get it wrong, I can just laugh about it.
I mean, I'm glad you were able to get your confidence up, and now that you have your own podcast, like having your own podcast is pretty intimidating, and in itself,
Yeah,
okay, like you're just, and like I don't know about you, but like I've been interviewing like us, we have never met before in our lives, and like I have no idea who you are, and like I have no idea if we're gonna have good chemistry together. You know, like
mm,
there'd be some guests where like I'll just talk to you for like 10 minutes, and it's like not going well, but like just clearly it's going well. Like I don't know, like I don't know how well spoken you are. Like some aren't, like you're really into the advocacy world, so like you're a great guest to have for Crohn's. Okay, like you know like what you're talking about, but like some I have talked to and they just don't know much about, or they're just not even a good guest. Like they just don't talk much at all, and like I kind of
yeah,
regret asking them to do anything
mm,
because it's like you're not helping who you're supposed to be advocating for.
yeah.
But I'd say you're doing a good job in terms of the advocating, and I think you're a great guest.
Thank you, Joe. Because like with my podcast, it is hard sometimes. Like as you say, like because you don't really know the person you're speaking to until you're speaking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and so sometimes you may ask a guest and they don't get back to you, or they don't answer you, and then you think, okay then, I just won't get you on my podcast. But yeah, it's always good for I think it maybe helps the guest when the host is confident about speaking about and asking questions, and or always making sure like the guest is comfortable about what they're speaking about, like they don't have to speak about anything they don't want to. So
I think it takes two to tango because all like when you're the host, all the pressure is on you, and to like let's say you're not talking much, and
yeah,
like I'm asking questions, it's kind of like I'm supposed to be the one like making the conversation work, you know?
yeah,
And so like I had a guess where she just kept going, yeah, okay, yeah, and I was like, you're not helping me at all. Like you're making my job so much harder. That like when that we're doing the podcast, it feels like a conversation. Like the other one was just like I just felt like I was just asking her questions, and it was like that was it. Like there was no back and forth, so it was like unpleasant to me. And then it's like, and I think it would be like unpleasant for the audience, and like I almost don't want to upload it, but I will just because I think there's some good stuff in it. But it's definitely intimidating because there's a lot of pressure. Like I had to do research on you, but like you have a good repertoire of content. So you have like your own podcast. So like I can hear you how you talk to people. Like get a feel for your personality. You talk a lot in terms of like a lot of other things. So like yes, you have Chromes, but I can talk about other little things that helps that it's like you have a wider scope of things I can talk to you about, and I feel more comfortable going in there. Like I can kind of tell when the 5 minutes before we start, I can say, "Oh, we're gonna have a good session." Like I have my research done. The questions are pretty. The questions I have are pretty like you can expand on it. Not like a yes or no question. You're a great guest. That you're expanding a lot on things. Like you're definitely helping a lot with the Chrome's advocacy for people that have it, and then for people who don't have it. Like I always try to educate the audience. I do have a lot of audience members that have no idea who Chrome's is, and probably will never have it. But even for me, I didn't know what Chrome's was. I never heard of it, but like I'm learning so much about it, and especially from coming from you, like from a personal aspect, it's awesome. Like I'm learning so much, and I hope the audience is learning too.
I think that's the best thing when you have a podcast, Joey, that you learn so much. When you have guests on, like I'm learning things on mine as well. I speak to people and they tell me things that I don't know, which is great because I've had teachers on as well, like speaking about autism. I like people speaking about Crohn's, and like I had a guest that hasn't been diagnosed with Crohn's yet, and they're just like trying to figure stuff out, which is it's good. And like it does always help if the guest is as talkative as you, but if not, maybe don't ask. Maybe you'll know when you have the guest, like how long maybe this is going to be. Like if they're like as you said, like a guest was saying like yes or no answers, that's probably a episode maybe to keep it a bit short because they're not talking as much as you, for example. But like that's what I've done in the past anyway. Like if I've seen a guest or figuring out is this going to be an episode where it's worth like an hour to 45 minutes long episode, or is it an episode that's going to be a bit shorter than that?
Yeah, I try to do everyone an hour because I don't want like someone to look at it and see everyone it's like an hour about, and then one is like 20 minutes, So I kind of try to push it, but yeah, I think next time I would cut it shorter and just say, hey, I don't think we have good chemistry, like let's just end this, and that's it. Like I know I'm not gonna have a great guest every time, but I do try to do like research. Like I like doing research. I knew it pretty pleasant. Like you were like open with your stuff. I feel like I can ask you questions, and like you were already in the advocacy world, so it's like, oh, that's like perfect match almost. But like, what would you say is the hardest part about having a podcast?
The hardest part is to maybe like ask maybe if someone doesn't answer you, I would say maybe like and I suppose to start with, to set it up at the start, or maybe is a bit tricky. Like sorting yourself logo out, sorting yourself set up, which and like figuring out like where you're gonna record it from, where you're gonna upload it to, or all that is probably once you get that out of the way, it is, I'd say, more chill. Because your podcast, you decide how many episodes you want to do, when you want to release them, when you want to record them, and it's like it is hard. It's a bit upsetting when maybe you've arranged an episode and they say they're going to come on and then they never turn up. And I don't know about you, and that's happened to me in the past, and I think I won't ask you again.
That never happened to me, but that someone didn't show up. But I do have people that I will say, hey, are you available next Wednesday at 2? And then they'll just never respond. I don't like push them for it. I just kind of go, okay, they're not going to want to do it. And that's to move on. Like there's thousands of other people I can interview. Yeah, like the beginning part is always difficult like just establishing like how to do a podcast, like the editing and such. But once you get that down, everything goes pretty fast. But yeah, like I'll agree with you. Like the hardest part really is the beginning of the podcast of like talking to the person. Okay, you have to like get the ball rolling a little bit,
Yeah, it does.
and it's like
Yeah.
it's intimidating. Like
Yeah.
you don't know, but like, you have to have confidence in yourself that you'll have a good episode.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that you was on the Self Love Sister podcast.
Oh yeah, what Kimberly?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'll tell you a little story about Kimberly. She came on my podcast.
yeah, I
Um,
saw that too.
yeah, yeah, and she wanted to create her own, so I gave her a few tips on how to create a podcast, and then she's going on hers, which it's very good. Like when you inspire people like that to make their own podcast, and now she's doing a load of episodes with all different inspirational people.
Oh yeah, definitely. She definitely asked me for help with a podcast. I was just recently on her podcast, and she uploaded it Monday. Yeah, yeah, she's a great person to have, and yes, I mean she did the Instagram lives for a while, so she kind of had experience interviewing people already. So it was just her skill set was already there. She just needed to learn how to do a podcast, like like get the audio and edit all that. But yeah, she's killing it in her space, and best of luck to her, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, and you as well, Joey.
Yeah, like we just all bring something different to the table. Like we can all interview the same people, but have a
Yeah,
totally different conversation.
yeah, that's it.
But I want to talk about. So you promote a lot about the multi-school council.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the audience that doesn't know, it is a program where ambassadors will come to schools in the United Kingdom to talk about mental health difficulties through collaborative meetings and events. What is your role and how does it affect you?
Well, the Mighty School Council. I was an ambassador. A few years ago, I got announced as ambassador, and my role is to raise awareness of autism and Crohn's. And that's my roles, and I actually got an award a few months ago for an ambassador of the year, and I don't expect awards. I didn't expect an award. I think part of an
Huh.
award was because I was still doing awareness for the Mighty School Council while being at home this past year because of the pandemic. So I like most of the sessions, like the meetings, the ambassador meetings have been online. So haven't really been like I've done a confidence building project with the Mighty School Council as well. And this year we did another one. It started last year at school, but unfortunately we couldn't go into school at the time when we were doing the next one. So that was online, and
Hmm.
we did that online, and it worked really well. And it's just a bit those children came on. We did a few sessions to boost their confidence, and that works really well. And there was recently to
Wait, hold on. Do you talk to regular kids about mental health, or do you talk about like people on a spectrum to get confidence, or both?
yeah, I think I think it's both. Like I think it's important to gain their confidence because I took into account that I wasn't very good at confidence when I was younger as well. So it's good. It's me and another ambassador who does that, which it's very good and very fun. It's like to be an ambassador because there is a lot of charity events as well. Like this year there was a charity event to climb Mount Snowdon. I unfortunately couldn't go because my Crohn's wasn't doing very well at the time. But I supported it and I wanted to go, but I know that I was going to get so tired about it. But there is going to be another event next year, which there's going to be a meeting next month about it actually. There's going to be a midnight walk, which because I haven't really during being ambassador, I haven't really done an event like with them because the two times I do it, I wasn't very well with my Crohn's. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be alright to do
That
the
sounds so much
midnight
fun.
walk. And the midnight walk will actually take place next year. but we're going to be talking about it end of this year just to sort it out. And I think it will be fun. I've been night walker with people as well to do it.
It's really awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun to do a midnight walk.
Might be a bit cold, but depending on what time of year we do it. But I presume it won't be this time of year. Next year, it'll be probably in the middle, I reckon. But it's you do lots of cool stuff with Mighty School Council. Like they go to the schools. I know. Like some of the Mighty School Council ambassadors and the person who actually created the council went to Westminster in London, where they actually had a talk there, which was quite cool. So it's getting more well known in Motor School Council, and the more it helps, really, the more better, and it's a very good organisation to be a part of.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds awesome. It sounds like you're helping a lot of kids.
Yeah.
That's a really important age to, like improve themselves. But
Yeah.
Before I take the mic away from you, are there anything you want to say or promote, or any closing thoughts?
I'll just say it was like if I could in life, if there's always try your best. Always but don't be afraid to speak out. If you haven't told your story, I know it can be hard at first. It was for me, but when you speak about your story, it does help people. And about my podcast and about my self-raising awareness, I didn't do that straight away. I didn't really tell anyone. Like I got diagnosed in 2017 with Crohn's, and it took me a while to speak about my autism as well. So deciding to create my own awareness page last year, it was, and creating the podcast last year. So kind of the pandemic kind of inspired me, and probably had more time to do all this awareness. So just don't give up. Always try your best, and like a podcast is a very good way to listen and help people. And I always say, if it helps one person, Joey, that's enough for me.
Yeah, you hear here. Don't give up. Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.